Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's weekly energy forecast. So we are October 13th, and we're going to be talking for the energy from the 13th until the 19th. And we're going to pull cards, look at it from the tarot standpoint, astrology standpoint. But generally speaking, Sophie, I think we're going to have a beautiful week. So I can't wait to see what the cards have to say. I'm very excited about this week. First of all, Pluto is going to turn direct. But when it turns direct, we also have beautiful aspects. It makes a air grand trine with Venus entering the sign of Libra and Uranus. And Venus in Libra is like such a beautiful energy. It's at home in the sign of Libra. So it's the energy of love, of flow, of harmony, of, let's say, so I feel like there's a lot of potential to heal a lot of relationships, to do, make, let's say, successful agreements, successful negotiations. Anything artistic is going to be super, let's say, emphasized in a very positive way. So I'm very excited about that. How are you feeling about this week?
It sounds better than the last one.
It does. But you did say in the cards that the full moon in Aries was going to be like the last peak of intensity before things settle a little bit and we feel more peace. So I think this is what we should see in the cards. Let's take a look.
Let's take a look. I can't wait to see that. So what is the energy for this week, please? Okay, we have 3 cards. Oh, we have 5 that wants to come in, but I won't take 4. Let's do a special one this week. So we have the masculine. So this is Mars for sure. That's the masculine energy. We have ascension. So I think that so far, it will depend on the second row, but so far what I see is that Mars is trying to elevate, not just because it was in Aries. We had the energy of Aries. Mars was in Scorpio, I know, but we had a lot of energies of like not thinking before acting. So that's why I say Mars and Aries, but I know. I think it's going to become a little bit more elevated kind of manifestation of Mars. We do have the robot right here, and the last card is stuck. So those 2 cards seems to say something about mental energy. So we'll see what it is. And I remember now, I have a flashback of last week. I said something about paranoia, something about...
It was about the square that we were having between Mercury that just entered the sign of Scorpio. And we had previously Mars enter the sign of Scorpio, also making a square to Pluto. But you did say between Mercury and Pluto that there was like this danger of like overthinking, going into mental loops, kind of losing our minds, so to say. But we're getting over this energy this week because Mercury is now at 10 degrees, Scorpio, Pluto's at 1 degree. So we're moving away from that.
Oh my God, I still need that. I don't know for you guys, but I have been stuck in that loop of overthinking everything. So this is the stuckness. Now we have solution, practical.
So we're moving away from that. Yeah.
Away from that. And so some of you could have been stuck in coping mechanisms over the last week. We're getting out of them. So for me, the Page of Wands tells me that it's require you to step outside of your comfort zone to break the stuckness and to break the coping mechanisms. So hopefully you're able to pinpoint, is it eating sugar? Is it eating at all? Is it drinking? Is it working too much? Is it TV screens of any kind? So you will know. So hopefully you're able to get out of this energy this week because it requires you to step out, probably more in nature or in movement because it's wands. So if you're able to do long walks in nature or you're able to jog in nature or anything, it's going to be really, really positive. Then we have 2 more cards. We have the card of the masculine and we have the card of the magician underneath. It's like the masculine, the aggressivity side, because it was a lower frequency. That's why I say masculine and aggressivity. It was Mars that was badly aspected, is now thinking about how to use that energy in a more productive way, how to make something out of it. And we have ascension and fairness. So again, I feel like we are seeing a more evolved way of dealing with it. I know you mentioned Libra and Venus. I'm still seeing that Mars is kind of extremely powerful in the mix, but it's going to calm things down because willing to negotiate, willing to, that's Libra, probably trying to make it more useful, this energy.
Well, regarding Mars, we still have Mars in Scorpio, which is very strong because it's one of the traditional rulers. Well, it is the traditional rulers of Scorpio. So Mars in Scorpio has a lot of energy. And now that it's moved away from the square to Pluto, it can be really used to, let's say, funneling this energy into something that's going to have another purpose other than, let's say, destruction, this destructive, this maybe anger, or let's say obsession on something, which also can be Scorpio. So we're able to funnel this energy into something that is more aligned, more balanced, and we have the help of Venus. So that makes sense. Awesome. Thank you so much, Sophie. We're going to look at the astrology to pair with that. And of course, if you have personal questions that you'd like to ask Sophie, this is your chance to do it. And just for this community, we have a special discount code, which is Jupiter. It allows you to get 10% off your next reading. And you have the choice between the 30-minute, which is a video that you receive that Sophie records, answering your personal questions. And you're going to see on the website, you have a little box to put your questions that you'd like Sophie to answer. And you can listen and re-listen to this video anytime you'd like. And if you prefer live appointments, we have 2 other options for you on the website. The link will be down below in the description box. So let's talk about astrology for a little bit. And I'll show you the calendar that I made for the month of October. Why is it not showing entirely? Okay, better. So this is October, and this week we're sandwiched between the 2 moons that we just had, the 2 lunations. So we just came in from the full moon in Aries, and we have another new moon in Libra, which we're going to talk about next week. But now we're in between. The energy is more, let's say, balance, I would say, less intense. So this is the great news. And Pluto direct, this is great. You know what? Because Pluto, this is the first time that we've experienced that in our lifetime, that Pluto turns direct after a retrograde in the sign of Aquarius. Because the last times that we had that, Pluto, anytime it was going retrograde, was waking up from its retrogradation in the sign of Capricorn. Now it's the first time that it does that in the sign of Aquarius. So there's going to be this emphasis into Aquarius, and we're going to be able to also continue on our transformation journey, but also having a more, let's say, clearer view about the future, which is also Aquarius, and also being more aware of the energy that we surround ourselves with, which is also Aquarius. And our friendships, also seeing the people for who they truly are around us, which is also Aquarius. So anything that is surrounding us, I feel like we're going to have a lot more, let's say, discernment, a clearer vision into discerning what do we want to surround ourselves with. And we're going to see the future in a very in a clear light, and we're going to be able to see where we're going. If we had, let's say, question marks about where we're journeying when we're going to, now Pluto turning direct is going to make it clear where we're going. And what I love is that at the same time that we have Pluto moving direct, we have Venus entering Libra, and they're going to make a trine at that point. So it seems to me that Pluto, this for the next coming months, is going to be very much linked to relationship, to Venus. So both are going to work together hand in hand in a very positive collaboration in order to transform relationships, in order to help us heal any kind of, it could be people like that we're in relationships with, but it could also be relationship dynamics that we're also working on. So the 2 of them, I love the fact that they're trining each other. So it's a very supportive aspect in astrology. And Venus in Libra is so positive. So I really love that. And at the same time, also Venus is going to trine Uranus. So the three of them, Pluto, Uranus, Venus, and Libra, are going to make a grand trine in the air signs. So air signs is relationships. It talks about people. It talks about collaboration, getting together. And as humans, we're not made to be solitary creatures. We're meant to be social creatures. So it's going to really emphasize the fact that getting together with the right people is going to be healing, very healing in the next coming, let's say, especially this week. The only downside to that is this Venus-Neptune opposition that we have at the same time. I would say it's going to be very positive for anything artistic, which is highlighting the energy of Venus. So we're going to feel more creative, we're going to feel more artistic, and wanting also to indulge on beauty, on good art, creativity. But Venus is also opposing Neptune. So I think it could be very positive for anybody that's trying to tap into their creative energy, trying to create something artistically, or also to, let's say, go to a theater, to do something artistic, to appreciate the beauty. But also the downside of that is that we don't see clearly. There's a fog in the air. So especially regarding relationships, we could see people from not entirely for who they truly are. There's still this veil of illusion that can come in, and we can either over idealize someone, or we can just be fully deceptive. Is that the word I want to use? Anyway, there's this deceptive energy. I can find the adjective. So this is we have to be especially careful for deceptions, but also it can be frauds, financial frauds, because Venus is also a financial planet. So we have to be careful for that. Passwords, all sort of stuff, because we know that a lot of our purchases are done online nowadays. So just be very mindful of that. And in the love department, which is the other thing that Venus rules, it can also be idealizing someone and not seeing truly who they are. Also, it could be this love fraud type of tendency that I saw with a lot of documentaries on Netflix, but you know what I mean. So this is the only downside for this week is this opposition to Neptune. But other than that, we have beautiful, beautiful energy, and especially for Venusian type of activities. And Venus will be in a sign of Libra from October 13 until November 6. So we have almost a month of beautiful Venusian energies. And I'm going to tell you right now what is going to be beneficial. So anything Venusian includes arts, creativity, fashion, beauty, but also love is Venus, romance, relationships in general, partnerships, and anything that touches negotiations, business deals, agreements, making compromises, finding a win-win sort of balanced situation. Also, great energy for single people who are trying to meet someone, because we have this grand trine and air sign also to make friends, to make new contacts, to meet the right people at the right time. This is a beautiful energy for that. To meet someone if you're single, if you're wanting to meet a romantic partner, beautiful energy for that. And also to get together and find sort of a balance, an equal give and take, a fair relationship. So it's going to be a very inspiring week on the social standpoint, and I think the frequency that we surround ourselves with is going to be key this week. And lastly, I want to talk briefly about this Sun square Jupiter that's going to be on Friday, so near the weekend. It's a square, but Sun and Jupiter are kind of friendly planets, so it's not bad. And Jupiter is a benefactor in astrology. So on the good side, it will boost vitality. We're going to feel very inspired, very motivated to reach our goals. We can also have lucky opportunities coming our way. The only downside with Jupiter is be careful for excess. So excesses in all things is the downside of Jupiter. Overdoing something, seeing let's say, for example, you go to a store to buy a product that you like, but you're like, oh, let's buy 10 instead of one just in case because I really love it. So that's kind of the downside of Jupiter, and sometimes it's doing things too much. So just be careful for excess, but I think it's going to be overall a beautiful week, especially
no Costco.
I'm sorry?
So no Costco.
No Costco. You can go to Costco, but just try to pace yourself. Let's pace ourselves. And but I love the grand trine with the air signs. I think socially it's going to be very fulfilling emotionally. So
Yeah.
let us know what you think in the comments. Let's hope we all have an amazing week with that grand air trine and Pluto moving direct. Let us know how you feel, and do make sure you like, share, and subscribe. It really helps us into growing this channel. And thank you to everybody who has subscribed to our channel and who likes our video. We are super grateful. Thank you for being part of this amazing community. Thank you, Sophie, and have an amazing week, everyone. We'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.